Do you also sometimes feel like some girls are winning at this beauty standards game, society game, and you don't even want to play that game, but still here you are feeling like a loser? And that it takes you so much effort to reach that constantly perfect appearance and care. I mean, the eyebrows, the nails, the skin, the shoes, the clothes, the perfume, body care, skincare, personal care, monthly, daily, weekly. Do you ever wonder how they do it and why you can't? It's maybe just me, but personally I felt that throughout my entire life, but especially the year that I lived in Istanbul, Turkey. So let me tell you about that experience and what I learned about beauty, appearance, care, and it completely changed the way I view myself and I view appearance and beauty standards. So I really want to share that with you today. So a little bit of background here. I met my husband when I was living in Belgrade in Serbia. He came on holidays. It was completely random. I like to say that we manifested each other because really his plane literally changed direction. He was not supposed to come in Belgrade, Serbia, like no one goes in Belgrade, Serbia for vacations. Due to COVID, it was the only destination open and available. Anyway, we ended up meeting, and as soon as we met, it was not like a firework or like butterflies in my stomach, it was more like a recognition. Of course, I was mesmerized by his smile and his handsomeness, but it was more like a recognition, like I feel like we are already husband and wife in another life, and it felt so obvious. It made sense, and it was so clear and open and honest and complete from the beginning. After his week of vacation, he went back to Istanbul, Turkey, where he was living, and I stayed in Belgrade, Serbia, and we started texting and calling every day and becoming like a couple. But it was also weird because we like just met and everything was so fast and at the same time so a no-brainer like kind of energy. And I decided to go and visit him in Istanbul, Turkey, and I was also very curious about Istanbul, Turkey, because a few years back then, it's not so much related to that video, but you need that background to understand it fully, and my brain is like a cauliflower sometimes. I need to give you all the details for it to make sense for even myself. So I went to visit him in Istanbul, Turkey 3 or 4 years ago. I almost went to live in Istanbul, Turkey actually, and I decided last minute out of fear, just really fear, to not do it, and I ended up living in Belgrade, Serbia, but it was on my dream list. And so I felt like I should go visit him, I should see what is this relationship about, and at the same time I can finally discover this place like Istanbul, Turkey that I've been dreaming about. And when I went there, I went for 4 days just to visit him and see Istanbul, and I fell in love completely of him and of Istanbul, and I decided in my mind I want to move to that place directly. So 2 months later I was moving there, and this is how I ended up living 1 year in Istanbul, Turkey. Okay, back to beauty now. So when I was there in Istanbul, Turkey, I started to notice that all the girls were looking so polished and dolled up and constantly perfectly hair and makeup and skin, and they were fit. Most of the time they had a nose job and other probably face treatment done, and as much as I wanted to criticize it and hate it, I actually thought that they looked so beautiful and so much better than me. And for a few weeks I felt so down and I was so harsh on myself because of it. And yes, because I was envious, but also because I recognized that this amount of money, energy, time that they were putting into their appearance was not available for me. Like I had a business, I had so many things going on. It was not possible for me in my mind to always look so polished, always look perfect, always have my nails done, always have my hair done, always have my body fit and all of that. The good thing is that I was self-aware, so I was not just passively enduring it, I was really questioning myself and reflecting on that topic, and I was asking myself questions like, why do you feel that way? Why do you think that they put so much effort, care, time, energy, money into their appearance, and why do you feel like you cannot achieve that state? What is the difference? I was really questioning myself, just like debating with myself inside. I also traveled enough to make some connection, like my best friend is Lebanese, I went to Lebanon, I was living in Serbia, Belgrade, and my brain started to make some connection. Like, it's interesting, in those countries, they are pretty poor countries, the salaries are very low, and even though it's poor and salaries are low, the women find the time, energy and money to put into their appearance, which for us European people is like a little bit superficial. So why they are doing that? And my brain made some connection that those girls are putting food money into appearance, because for them it's way more than appearance, and for them it's not superficial at all. And I realized those girls are not better than you. They just need this more than you do. They need beauty more than you do. They need to be polished and they need to be on top of their game all the time, because for them it's not just beauty. For them it's a ticket to freedom. It's a ticket to finding a good, healthy, wealthy husband. Healthy, actually we don't care is healthy or not. They live in countries where a single salary is not enough. Sometimes even two salaries are not enough. Imagine just one single woman trying to feed herself. She cannot. She's living at her parents until she's finding a husband. And she's hoping to find a wealthy husband to leave her condition. For her, beauty is not just beauty. Beauty is not superficial. Beauty is literally her life savior. Beauty is survival. It's the only way for them to change their condition. It's of course not the only way, but it's one of the only ways. They are constantly in danger in their mind of not being chosen and saved by a man. So of course they do the nose job without a question. They do the surgery without a question. They invest into beauty without a question. They do the diets better than you. Of course. They have more self-discipline than you, of course. They take more time, effort, energy, money into this than you, of course. It's not mean the same for them as it means to you. And sometimes they are aware of it and really need to, like financially need to. And sometimes it's also just out of cultural habit. But whether it's in real life or whether it's in their mind, they need to. They need beauty more than you do. And hate me for saying this if you want to, but the truth is that those women will get fat as soon as they have a ring on their finger and a kid on the way. Because beauty for them was never about beauty and was never even about finding real love. It was about survival and security. And honestly, I felt lucky when I realized that. I felt like I'm not enough. I'm not ugly. I'm just freer. Beauty is not mandatory for me. I get to do my hair or don't. I get to go out without makeup today if I want to. I get to look for real love, not just a security blanket. I get to look for my person. And I have the luxury of everyday life, not having to try so hard, just being myself and having people around me loving me for just who I am. And I can look at those girls today and feel so happy for them, because they do look beautiful. They do look polished, just like they want to and need to. They might find a good husband and free themselves. I feel for them. I'm happy for them. I'm really not judging. We have different circumstances, and probably if I was at their spot, I would do exactly the same. And it's just one example of many where beauty for some people is mandatory, or in their mind it's something so important for some other reason. You are after beauty because you want to glow up and you just want to look good and you want to look like yourself and you want to, this journey of finding yourself, you are so free for that. For some people, beauty is so much more mandatory than that. They don't get the luxury of just trying to find themselves and revealing themselves or these kind of things. They need beauty right now. So they are doing the procedures, they are doing the diets, and they are sticking to it. When we look from the outside, we might compare ourselves and even admire it. But when we come up close and we really understand what it means, we would not exchange our situation for theirs ever. We would not envy that ever. If you look at cinema celebrities, for example, the way they always look so perfect and fit, and the way they age so gracefully, we don't think for a second that they might have a really hard time with that they might spend their entire life under the pressure of always looking like that without it they might not get as many jobs and roles as they used to, that with the years they are slowly feeling more worthless and worthless, that they constantly fear to be irrelevant tomorrow. Are you still seeing anything major with Julia Roberts, for example? Why do you think that is? So whenever you feel like you can't keep up with polishing yourself and on the million care that a woman needs to do on herself, and you see a woman winning at this game, let her win. She might need this more than you do. Let her win. Because by losing that game, you are actually free. You are free to actually pursue love and beauty for what it is, not as a mean to an end, not as a survival mechanism, not as an injunction, but as guides toward you, your true, imperfectly perfect self. Babe, you got this. See you in the next one.